Deborah Coco, and welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out and look for us on YouTube.
Hey everybody, I'm your girl Deborah Coco, and welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show. I have an awesome show lined up for you today. I have 3 good guests coming through to tell you what they have going on, and hopefully you want to get involved in some of these projects. My first guest is TJ Vida. She has this new organization called Seize the Cure, which is to help people suffering from epilepsy and seizures. So she's here to tell us about this organization, how she started it, and what are her plans for the future in regards to helping to raise awareness for it. My next guest is a music artist. He goes by the name of BLO. He has a whole radio network. He has music. He has a couple of things he wants to promote and also some advice on the industry. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And my last guest is actor Talib A. Shakur. He's in the building to give us an update on some of the projects that he's been working on and some things that's coming up for him in the future. So again, if you want to be a guest on Just Give Me the Mic, you may have heard me mention this before, just send me an email to justgivemethemic12@gmail.com so we can get you on here to talk about what it is that you do. And also, if you would like to perform at some of our showcases, I run a series throughout the last Wednesday of every month on Harbor Light Boat Ride. You could come and perform on a yacht. If you want to be down with the Harbor Light Showcase, make sure you send me an email to justgivemethemic12@gmail.com too, so we can get you signed up for that. There's a lot of events going on. I'm also going to be hosting at Barcelona Bites coming up on May 5th. It is the after party for the Fever reunion. So you can come to Lehman College, check out that whole Fever reunion with the whole lineup of guests. Rakim, so many, I can't even run down the whole name. It's a lot of artists, but I'm also doing the after party at Barcelona Bites that same night. So make sure you contact me on social media in order to get tickets for that. If we are not connected on social media, hit me up, Deborah Coco, on Facebook. Hit up any one of my Just Give Me the Mic pages, and look for me on Instagram. Again, Just Give Me the Mic, or Deborah_Coco_JGTM, y'all. We have a great show lined up for you, and we'll be back with more. Don't go nowhere. I'm very excited about today's show. We'll be right back with some more entertainment, y'all. Okay, well, I want to open up and welcome my first guest to the show. We've been trying to connect for some time, but we finally made it happen today. We have TJ Vida in the building, and thank you so much for joining me of the Bomb Vida radio show, right?
Yes, I have a radio show on the Bomb Baby Radio Network.
Okay, nice. But I know we're going to talk about your radio show in a moment, but I know today you had an organization and a cause that you wanted to raise awareness about, so you wanted to come and sit down and talk about that. So I'm going to pass it to you and let you give us some background information and let us know what the organization is about.
Well, it started with my son, who is 15 years old, and he has refractory epilepsy. So for those who don't know what that is, refractory epilepsy is epilepsy that's not controlled with medication.
Oh, wow.
He's on medication currently, high doses, and he's also had surgery. He has the VNS, which is an implantation to control the seizures.
Wow.
Nothing has worked up until this point.
Wow.
So his seizures are monthly. It could be anywhere between once a month. It could go up to 5 times a month.
Oh, wow.
And there's no sign, there's no trigger. It just happens. He can be sitting here talking like we are, and he'll just drop.
So how old was he when you first had the occurrence?
Interestingly, when he first started showing signs of epilepsy was when he was 2 years old. He was having staring spells. And they wanted to evaluate him because they kept saying that he had ADHD. I am very familiar with epilepsy because I have it myself.
Okay.
And my mom struggled with me with absent seizures, so I took him to a neurologist right away. They automatically diagnosed him with epilepsy because he had absent seizures.
So that means he would stare and wouldn't have any other body movement. Like, explain how.
Absent seizures are staring spells, or maybe the person could be having a conversation like we are now, and then I could just
stop.
Completely pause, and then not remember what we were talking about.
Oh, wow.
Or continue forth a few minutes later, and not remember pausing.
Like nothing happened.
Right. In school.
And at 2 years old, how do you Like you just noticed him just stopping, and then he would just
Spacing out, a lot of spacing out, which many children do have that.
Okay.
But it's confused with, like I said, ADD, which doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just ADHD.
okay.
And they're being, misdiagnosed with other things, and because they're not being guided, the parents, to take their children to neurologists to get checked first,
Right,
for any
right.
neurological
They're just
conditions.
quick to give the
They're
medication
quick
and
to
diagnose them with that
they're very-
ADHD
Schools
now.
are very quick to say your child needs to be evaluated by the school,
Right.
and go on medication for behavioral problems, which can later on cause neurological conditions such as epilepsy.
No, that is true. So as he gets older, you notice and you're keeping track of how often they're occurring, what is
Right.
triggering the occurrences to happen.
As he
and-
gets older, he was pretty normal functioning. Day to day, you meet him, you would never think he had any issues.
Okay.
More like delays in school, things that would affect his memory with learning,
Okay.
but nothing that you would notice.
Okay.
About 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
he came out the hospital, and I was in my kitchen, and he was with his sister in the living room, and I heard his sister laughing hysterically at him, and I thought he was making her laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, Malik, stop playing around, because I saw him with the jerks and it didn't look like a seizure. I thought he was playing.
Right.
And I go back to the kitchen, and I said, I still hear her laughing. I come back out, and he's still doing it. I said, Malik, stop. And then when I look, he wasn't responding.
Oh, wow.
And my heart just
Very scary.
dropped. I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know. My phone was right in my face, and I couldn't find my phone. I panicked. Luckily, my neighbor heard me screaming and barged in my house and called 911 for me.
Wow.
I went to the hospital. They said that it looked like, he had a seizure, a convulsion. It could be the new medication he was taking at the time.
Okay. That's the hard part. Trying to find the right medication while you're going through, this whole process. That is very hard. So.
And this was 2 years ago. I'm thinking, okay, one seizure, maybe something happened in the brain that just didn't go right with the medication, or maybe it's something else. Next thing I know, the next month, another one happens.
Boom.
And then another one. So now I go to his other doctor and say, listen, I think it's the medication. They take him off the medication. But then the seizures start increasing.
Oh, wow.
And this was 2 years ago, and it's been a battle ever since, skipping through all the same thing that I'm saying. He's had a total of 198 seizures.
Wow, and he's 15 now.
He's 15.
190-something seizures. What kind of effect does it have on the body? Do you know a little bit about that?
Well, the medication itself has given him vitamin D issues. So
Okay.
he has a lot of issues with his legs, easy fractures.
Wow.
Again, if you look at him, you couldn't tell.
But as he's playing
had a-
sports and running, those things are
Well,
affected.
he has a fracture right now. He fell in gym
Okay.
and fractured his knee
Wow.
just by a simple fall.
Wow.
He has had numerous injuries because with his seizures, convulsions, he has them in the tub. He's hit his head against furniture.
Oh, wow.
I can't let him, he's 15. I can't let him have a normal life. I can't let him go outside, by himself. God forbid he has a seizure and the cops think that he's high on drugs. And,
something,
he's
right.
an African-American young
Misinterpreted it,
man.
yes.
My children are both half Haitian. So I worry about that. I worry
course,
about,
of course.
God forbid he has it on the train and God forbid falls into a track or down the stairs. And then he's a 15-year-old male. So in his mind, it's like, it's no big deal. He doesn't
No, but
understand.
you worry, yes, the outside. Like, is there any kind of device or anything that he's wearing to let anyone know?
medical
that
alert bracelet
He has medical
when he
alert.
wears it.
Okay. Well, then that's something. So if
Yeah.
they happen to see him, they'll know
Yeah.
how to take care of him and what it is. So
Right.
that's also important, right?
Yeah.
So they offer that to you, or that's something you had to look into
This
yourself
is
to get?
something I had to look into myself because I happen to be the kind of person and parent that has the knowledge to know this is what I need to do and this is where I need to go to find the information.
Okay. So do they think that epilepsy, do they think it's hereditary? Is it gene? Like, did they give you, because since you said you had it, do they think that there's a connection between you having it and him having it as well? Or is that something that could be random based on other
Interestingly-
genetic issues?
Interestingly, I had him go to a doctor and have a test in genetics.
Okay.
I have epilepsy, and my dad had epilepsy from a motorcycle accident.
Okay.
That he had a head injury. But he didn't get it from my line of the family. It says that the gene is on his father's side, and nobody on his
Oh.
father's side has it.
Wow.
So it's very interesting. Epilepsy, there's still so much research that
Yes, it is.
even the research that has come abroad is still indecisive in the facts that they're given.
There's no
Nothing
definitive.
is solid.
Yes,
Nothing
okay,
is solid.
understand that.
So they give you the probability. Well, this is what it could be, but it's still they don't know. It's not like other conditions where you take a CAT scan or MRI and you could pinpoint where something is coming
Right,
from.
there's
and
no direct
this is what we
link
can do for
to
it.
it,
Everything is
exactly.
trial and error.
So how does he feel about it? Is he worried about it, or is he just like, look, what is his thoughts on, and how does he deal with it?
My son is very macho for his age. He's very, very sweet, and he doesn't talk much about it.
Okay.
He acts like it's nothing, but I know it bothers him.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't have a normal life. It would bother anybody. And for a teenager who doesn't understand, and
Does he have like is there any support system within your doctor's office that you go to? Have they offered you outside support that he can go to, coping? I mean, we don't know. Like maybe some things that he has inside that he hasn't communicated. Are they offering that type of support system to you from the
everything that
hospital?
he has that is set in stone right now is because I researched it and
Okay.
got it for him. I'm still
Okay.
looking into more things. Luckily, as I discuss further, what I'm doing now has opened the doors to a lot more opportunities for him
Okay.
that I didn't know about.
Well, check out Mount Sinai's website, too. They have all of those case studies, trial studies. I mean, you don't want him doing
Right,
all
right.
kinds of medication, but they do have other type of help, like, support groups that he can go to, and they can share experiences, and sometimes little things that they say in the course could be helpful in regards to that. But you also started an organization because of what your son is going through. So tell us about that.
Last year in May, I'm in the music industry. I'm an
Okay.
artist. I sing.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, and I decided that we wanted to take an event from last year and make a cause. So I said,
Okay.
why don't we do epilepsy? It's only right. It
Right.
has to do with something personal. And my son was okay with it. And it went fairly well. I got in contact with the Epilepsy Foundation.
Great.
And they came out, and I had a good number of support. And the Epilepsy Foundation was very impressed. I kept in contact with the director for every month we talk.
Great.
Sometimes more than once a month.
Great.
He takes a lot of pride in my son and myself. And he asked me, he said, the Epilepsy Foundation doesn't cover the Bronx. The Bronx is the neglected borough.
Why not? That's something that should be looked into.
Well,
I didn't know it stopped at certain boroughs within the
yeah,
city.
there's certain, I didn't know either. But he asked me if I would consider having Seize the Cure, be the representation of the Bronx.
Okay.
And I had no intention of doing another event after last May. It was a lot of work. And I said, you know what? I thought about it. I said, why not? I have a really bad situation that could be worse. I always try to look at that.
Of course, of course.
But it could be a lot better. And maybe this is the way to make it better. Open more doors of opportunities, not only for my son, but when I did the event last year, you'd be surprised in the industry how many people came out
That's awesome.
that
Wow, that's great
still
that people
don't feel
took it.
comfortable, but they talk to me about it.
Okay.
And they said, oh, you know what? I know such and such who has it, or I have it. That epilepsy is something people just don't talk about.
It's quiet. It's quiet for some people. I've had friends for years that, we've been out at events and they had an attack, an episode, so to speak. I don't know what to do. If I would have known that they had it, you feel helpless if you don't understand or know what's going on when those type of occurrences take place. So I think raising awareness in what you're doing, if they don't have representation in the Bronx, I feel is necessary. I know there's hundreds of kids in the Bronx that do suffer from it.
Yes.
And I think it's great to do events. We always do cancer, breast cancer, all these other different autism, and they're all great causes, but people are suffering also from epilepsy as well. So I think it's a great thing that you started doing the fundraising concerts, whatever that could be done to help raise funds and awareness, because like you said, there's no real trigger. This is just still a mystery to a lot of people as any other type of genetic disorder. You know what I mean?
And I could tell you why. If you look back in history, epilepsy was back in the days looked at as, a case of the devil.
Yes, I did read that. I did read that.
And in some cultures, it still looked like that.
Yes.
It still looked at it like that. In other cases, it was looked at as a mental disorder, schizophrenia, excuse me. And it was not until recently, and when I say recently, I don't mean like yesterday or last.
Within the last few years.
But it was recently looked at as a medical condition,
Yes.
and people are still not aware of that. Not everyone has epilepsy that has seizures.
That is true.
That's another thing.
It's like another part of it.
Some people only have seizures if they have fevers or if they're drinking or on, unfortunately, substance abuse.
Right.
So that's something that maybe that's why they don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
There's
I've heard
something
about
linked
that.
to it.
Alcoholic seizures.
Yes.
I guess if you drink over a certain level, your body kind of shuts down and goes through it. So you're right. It's different variety of the disorder. Or what do they actually label it as? Is it the disorder or is it, how do they label it?
It's illness.
Illness?
Condition.
Okay.
It's
a condition. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm saying
and
it
the thing
correctly.
it's either way. It's really the same thing. It's not curable.
Yeah, right.
You'll hear people say that, I haven't had a seizure in 5 or 10 years. It doesn't mean you're cured.
Right, you still have it.
Because
it's just
once you
nothing
have
brought
it,
out.
it's gonna come. It can come back. It's a good chance it'll come back.
Wow, wow. And I think the scariest part for your son is that you don't know what the triggers are. Some people know what their trigger actually is. Like, I have to stay away from this. I can't do that. I got to make sure. But you don't even know what it is. If he's sitting here doing just regular, everyday things, that's the scary part
Right,
of
and
it.
for him, everything's a trigger.
Wow.
No sleep, no video games, no exercise. That's like no life.
Wow.
He's 15.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Stop him from living?
And this is a lifelong thing that he has to try to figure out
Right.
how to control it. So you did your first event in May. Are you planning, are you in the plans of actually doing another one soon, or?
The first one for 2018 is May 20th.
Okay.
It's a Sunday.
Okay.
At 1 o'clock.
Coming up, everybody. So give us the information on that.
And I'm really excited because this event is going to have, I have a lot more support this time than last time.
Great.
I have Presbyterian Hospital coming out, the neurologist.
Nice.
Which is my neurologist, actually.
Okay.
He's coming out to speak, as well as their media team will be coming out.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm going off top of the head. There's a lot. I have speakers on cannabis, oil, and medical marijuana coming out.
Okay.
The YMCA.
What is the connection with that? Is there a connection? Do they feel that cannabis helps? I just want to know. I'm just asking.
My opinion?
Yeah.
Research shows it does.
Because I'm saying that because I actually read something, and that's one of the reasons too why I see that some medical doctors are actually pushing for the medical cannabis, because there's naming a few disorders, not just that, but I've actually seen epilepsy on the list, saying that it can help seizures by keeping the body in a certain state. So that's a whole nother topic, but I did read something very little about that.
I am in the process of considering alternative medicine for my son.
Okay.
Because seizure medications have so many side effects attached to it, long-term side effects.
Which can cause other problems, like you said, down the road. So
seizure medications are mind-altering drugs.
Wow. That's not good right there.
Part of Seizure Cure is I'm combining a mental illness component.
Right. Which should be there.
Because it's combined. People with epilepsy usually have some form of mental illness.
Wow. Okay.
Depression being a main one.
I can see that.
People who have mental illness and take all kinds of medication for their disorders, these medications cause seizures.
Wow.
So
it's
there's
there's definitely the link between the two back and forth. Okay, so I didn't know that. So that's something that we're learning today as well. So the name of your company is Seize the Cure?
Seize the Cure.
Okay. And you have, where can they go if they wanted to find more information about it, join your upcoming event, or get tickets for it? Give us some information in regards to that.
Yes, the upcoming event is May 20th. I plan to have consistent events, so it's a continuous thing. I'm asking for donations. I have a planning committee that I just now set up.
Okay.
The website is bxseizethecure.com.
That's SEI.
SEIZE,
The Cure.
thecure.com.
Okay.
And you can make donations right through the website as
Great.
little as $5.
Great. Are you looking for volunteers for the event? Maybe people
I
that
look
can.
for any kind of help.
Okay, volunteers, donations. Make sure you go to the website and they can actually write and reach out to you. And
Yes, the
on
email address.
Okay, what's the
is,
email?
Bear with me, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Seize the Cure, bxseizethecure@gmail.com.
Okay, so make sure you send her an email if you are interested in being involved in this upcoming event or just learning more. I know even for support,
Absolutely.
this is a great way to create a network here within the Bronx, and we definitely need people, volunteers and everything to be a part of this because this is a cause that really needs a lot of attention. 'Cause like I said, I worked in a neurology department for pediatric, and I see the look on these parents' faces. I see these children; they don't know what's going on, and it's a real scary situation, And like you said, you don't hear much about it, but I see it working in neurology. I actually work in neurology, so I see the kids firsthand when they come to the hospital. I see the parents what they're going through. But like I said, there are support groups through Mount Sinai for the adults, for the parents dealing with children that have epilepsy because it's a very scary thing.
And that's a big part of Seize the Cure. There's three main components,
Okay, yes, tell us.
four main components to Seize the Cure. The person who suffers from epilepsy, the parent, because the parent is the one, when it's a child, that the
Yes.
life is completely changed around.
Yes.
I started a job and had lost, on probation, I lost 21 days of work on my probation period
Wow.
because of my son's condition. And
Right.
by the grace of God, my boss understood.
Great.
And I didn't get fired. But
Great.
not everyone's blessed like that.
No, you're right.
There's
Some
a lot of
companies
things
don't care.
that's not are available to the parents that the parents don't know about. And this is the point of Seize the Cure, the mental illness component and the music,
Okay.
arts in general, because it's
Yes.
therapeutic.
Yes, yes.
And that's what I'm bringing, not just guest speakers in the forum, but arts and entertainment to show that this is, two different, the music industry and the medical component coming together.
I agree. That's
do
there's
something.
definitely the music and arts definitely can help in those type of situations. And that I find that with children across the board, whether it's autism, ADHD, music and arts seems to be
It is.
a part of all the forums, part of the programs that I see because they find that helpful. Whenever they have children suffering from, let's say, autism, drawing, colors, music. It always seems to be implemented in the programs that I see for children. So that's a great deal. I think your 4 steps, the 4 parts that you have to it, the components are very relevant and ideal for the type of program that you have together with that. So, again, we did this segment today to help raise awareness, to have people come out and to be a part of this great event
Can I
that's
say
going
one more
on.
thing?
Of course.
Just if I'm not reachable on Facebook, TJ Vida, my board of directors, which is Nilda Gibson, who's my
Okay.
mom also,
Okay.
and Ronald Bullock, they can reach out to them as well.
Okay, on social media, like on
social me-
Facebook, they can
Face-
reach them?
yeah.
Okay, so again, tell them again, they can reach out to...
Reach out to Ronald Bullock or Nilda Gibson.
How do you spell the last name for Bullock? B-U-L?
Bullock.
Okay, make sure you reach out to that as well. And also, through your segment, let them know how to reach you on your television. They can also go through your program, your show that you have as well, right?
Oh, yes. I have a radio show, the Bomb Vida radio show that is on the Bomb Baby Radio Network. And one thing I'm doing for artists who are a part of Seize the Cure, whether it be the May 20th event or future events, I'm playing their music in rotation and giving them an interview as a thank you.
Okay, great.
So I have an email for the radio. It's bombvidaradio@gmail.com. And it's every Wednesday on the Bomb Baby Radio Network. You can find my show at 9 p.m.
Okay, make sure you log in, check it out on Wednesday nights and support the network. Very good people at that network. And you have how long have you had the show?
Very recent, January.
Okay.
On my birthday, it started.
It
January
started on
31st.
your birthday?
Yes.
Okay, that's a nice gift to yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be back. Maybe we can get some links for the show and also air that if that's possible. And we'll see if we can slip in a performance or something from we have some surprises coming up. Hopefully, we're going to try to get it in. And we'll be back. And I want to thank you so much for joining me and letting me know about your cause. And I hope this segment today helps to increase and, the awareness of what you're doing, and people will decide to help you, help out with that.
Thank you for
having me. And we'll be back. And make sure, look up seizures, epilepsy, because like you said, it's a lot of information out there that people don't know about, and now it's time to build a network and to share so we can all help each other. And thank you so much, and we'll be right back with more. My guest, CJ Vida. Make sure you check her out and support her. We'll be back.
Coco, and